Today we ask the question, what is Stoicism?
Enter a world of enchantment, of enlightenment, Meg's Magical Mansion.
Come, whoever you are, to Meg's Magical Mansion, a virtual guest house for spiritual wayfarers, a place where the ordinary becomes magical, where wisdom is yours for the asking, and where your higher nature is just a wish away. Thanks for joining me here today at the Magical Mansion. I'm Meg with my fluffy assistant, Miss Alice Poopers, and today I want to talk to you all about a philosophy that's been helping me out a lot lately. You know, it's a philosophy that I think a lot of witches and occultists just naturally seem to gravitate to. It's a school of thought that I like to pull out of my bag of tricks when I get into a certain situations. Like, do you ever just feel like things are not going your way? No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you're raising your vibration and being positive and all that other stuff, you just feel like things are going downhill and they're going downhill fast. Yeah, or maybe you just feel like, you wish you could be better at protecting your feelings and you're a little sensitive. I'm a Cancer, so Cancers, we all know we have very sensitive feelings. We're like a little crab, tough on the outside, but mush on the inside. And sometimes I just like to be better at protecting my sensitive little feelings. But sometimes it's not my sensitive little feelings, because sometimes people are actually actively trying to be hurtful, or they don't care that what they're doing is hurtful, or they're just so caught up in all their own drama and mess that they're not aware of how it's impacting you. And in that case, it's not you being overly sensitive, and some people feed off of the unhappiness of others, and sometimes it just feels like someone's out to get you. So when you get in these situations, how do you rise above? How do you get yourself in that Zen-like, Buddhist-like state that, we really would like to be in? So how can you not take bullies and mean-spirited people personally? As a witch and an occultist, how do you stay true to yourself and your craft, no matter what others think of you? And the answer is Stoicism. This ancient philosophy first arose in Greece, but it became quite popular during the Roman Empire. As a matter of fact, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was a famous Stoic. So what is Stoicism? Is it not having feelings, being cold and uncaring? Not at all. It's about having control of your feelings. And it's about changing the things you can and not worrying about the things you can't change. It's about living an honorable life in accordance with nature. It's about reason and logic and all the things I think witches just do naturally. But this philosophy can also help you focus in on what is really important to you. All the while you let go of the petty stuff that doesn't really matter. So, want to know more? Okay, stick around. We're going to find out all about Stoicism. Stoicism has been around for thousands of years, originating in ancient Greece as a Hellenic philosophy founded in 300 BCE by Zeno of Citium. Today, Citium is known as Cyprus. Stoicism had influences from both Socrates and the Cynics, and yes, Cynicism was actually a school of philosophy and not just a way of being snarky. Those original Stoics often had heated debates with other philosophical groups like the Epicureans, the Skeptics, and the Academics, all three of which were philosophical movers and shakers of the time. The term Stoic comes from the words stoa poikile, which means the painted porch, which was a covered market in Athens where the Stoics met, taught, and learned. The market was famously called the Painted Porch because of the epic artwork that covered the walls, an Athenian art gallery, if you will. Zeno chose a public forum for the Stoics to meet, much as Socrates had done. Many other philosophical groups of the time met in private gymnasiums, and Stoicism was seen as something of a street philosophy, something that was accessible to everyone. Stoicism had three major phases of development. The early Stoics, starting with Zeno of Citium, through the third head of the school, Chrysippus. The middle Stoics from the late 2nd and 1st century BCE, including philosophers like Posidonius and Panaetius, and the Roman imperial period from the 1st through the 2nd century CE, made famous by thinkers like Seneca, the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus. Stoicism has continued to have an influence throughout the Middle Ages, Renaissance, Industrial era, into modern 21st century times. Stoicism has influenced emperors, kings, and presidents, artists, writers, and power brokers. So what is the Stoic philosophy? We think of Stoic as being strong and silent and lacking in emotions, but that's not really what Stoicism is all about. The philosophy of Stoicism is based on 4 virtues: courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Courage is important because life will not always be easy, and it shouldn't be easy. We're here to learn lessons and grow and mature our spirit through these earthly experiences. We will experience the ups and downs of life because that's the cyclical nature of life. Seneca said, "If you have passed through a life without an opponent, no one can ever know what you are capable of, not even you." Difficult situations are going to come your way. Stoics view them not as tragedies or terrible things or even just inconveniences, but they see them as learning opportunities. Like Buddhists, Stoics believe your greatest enemy is the most difficult person you encounter. You know, that hardest person you have to deal with is your greatest teacher. It's important to be brave and have courage through tough times. I'm Finn, and the Finlanders call it sisu. Or if you speak Spanish, you might say cojones. But it's having the courage, the balls to just get through those tough and rough times and come out smelling like a rose. But you must have the ability to be brave. And this is where the idea of Stoics being strong comes from. Being able to remain in control of yourself and power through difficult times is how we learn and grow our souls. Temperance. Just as I spoke about in our episode on the Hermetic principle of polarity, Stoics see a sliding scale where we can choose. For example, lack or excess, or to be balanced towards the middle. You can be a coward, or you can just be reckless, but somewhere in the middle is courage. Aristotle called this the golden mean, that sweet spot that's not too much and not too little. Stoics strive for moderation, doing things in the right amount. As Aristotle pointed out, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. And we all know that a habit is just something we do so repeatedly that we do it at an instinctive level. So making a habit out of the things you want to excel at is exactly how Stoics handle it. Do those things regularly and see how small everyday efforts can bring about huge upgrades in your life. Justice. This is a huge concept for Stoics. Its importance can't be understated. Doing the right thing is critical. Marcus Aurelius said that justice is the source of all other virtues. Many Stoics have stood for justice, for what's right, even at great personal risk, including people like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, who formed a new nation, which was inspired by the virtues of Stoicism. Stoics believe that an individual can make a difference, and representing oneself with honesty and truthfulness is critical. There is no need to dress things up or stretch the truth. Stoics understand that the universe has a plan, and being open and honest only helps her implement her plan. Wisdom. This is the knowledge and the experience we need to figure our way around this 3D world and to level up in our spiritual development. Zeno said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we can listen more than we talk. Stoics are great students who seek the lessons of life. In our modern day society, there's a lot of information coming at us from all directions, but very little of it is stuff you actually need to live a happy and fulfilled life. It's important to always be a student, to always keep an open mind, to be ready to learn life's lessons no matter where they are coming from. You cannot learn that which you think you already know, to quote Epictetus. So, curating information carefully with an open mind to get the right information is the goal. Stoics have some strategies for helping them achieve these 4 virtues. First and foremost of these is being able to see clearly what you can change and what you cannot. Stoics don't go beating their brains out trying to achieve the unachievable or attain the unattainable. You can't make the weather change at your whim. You can't literally move mountains or part oceans. And some people will not change. Fighting a battle you will never win is a useless waste of time. Stoics prioritize their efforts where they will do the most good. To quote Epictetus, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Where then do I look for good and evil? Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself, to the choices that are my own. In The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, Covey talks about your circle of influence versus your circle of concern. All of the things that we worry about or care about are in our circle of concern. But within that circle of concern is a smaller circle, our circle of influence. These are the things we care about or worry about, but these are the things where we actually have some ability to influence what will happen. Focusing our attention on the things within our circle of influence is how we can do the most good and get the best results. Many Stoics have been wealthy and powerful, but lived very simple lives. Or some of them even take time out of the calendar each year to go and live in poverty, to practice poverty. So if it ever came to them, they would understand it and know how to navigate it. It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. While fortune is bestowing favors on it, is then the time for it to be strengthened against her rebuffs. Seneca. Practice what you are most afraid of. Whether you imagine it or, like practicing poverty, you try it out for yourself. But thinking about the hardest things we know we will have to deal with before they happen does help us prepare our minds. I personally spent a lot of time preparing for my parents to pass away, rehearsing it in my mind, thinking about how it would feel, how I wanted to conduct myself, what things I would need to do, and then when it happened, I was ready. I was there when each of them died, 9 months apart from each other, and I was about as mentally prepared as I could have been. Stoics also work hard to train their thinking, so when they encounter challenging situations, they're mentally ready. It's usually pretty hard to insult a Stoic or make them angry or hurt. As Marcus Aurelius said, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. Stoics also believe in turning obstacles upside down. If you can properly turn a negative upside down, it becomes a positive. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Stoics don't see good and bad, only the perception of good and bad. And you can control the perception. Everything is opportunity. And everything is fleeting. Stoics live in and enjoy the moment because what you possess right now may be gone in an instant. Being an honest person and doing the right thing is what matters to Stoics. And they always try to keep the long view in mind. Like, what's your end game? Don't let little unimportant things distract you. Keep a bird's eye view from above on your life and the direction you're heading, because, sometimes we just don't see the forest for the trees. And this is always tempered by the knowledge that life is short. The time you have here in this human body is over before you know it. Stoics believe in making the most out of your time here on earth, in this body, living this life. Prepare for your own death in your mind. Memento mori, as the Stoics call it. Reflect on your own mortality. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Seneca. Stoics encourage meditating daily on your death and mortality, so you become comfortable with the idea and let it motivate you to live a virtuous life now while you are alive, for you may not wake tomorrow. And it also motivates you to get things done now and avoid procrastinating. Trusting in fate is another important idea that Stoics live by. Life happens the way it is meant to, all the good and all the bad, all the ups and all the downs. If it were all good and easy, you would learn nothing, and the trials we are sent come to strengthen and teach us. So don't hope that only good things happen to you. Hope that things happen that teach you the lessons you need to learn. So have courage. Remember, as Seneca said, we are often more frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Be temperate and moderate in what you take in, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Exercise control over what is influencing your thinking. You become what you give your attention to. If you yourself don't choose what thoughts and images you expose yourself to, someone else will. Epictetus. Be just and fair in all your dealings. Speak the truth and live a noble life. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius. Be wise and embrace learning wherever it finds you, whoever the teacher may be. Always keep an open mind and be ready to shift your paradigms. If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. Marcus Aurelius. And of course, stay humble. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would have not mentioned these alone." Epictetus. This is just a small sampling of what Stoicism has to offer, but I can tell you that bringing out your Stoic attitude can help you navigate many difficult times and help you learn the lessons from those hard times that the universe is trying to teach you. So, would you like more episodes on Stoicism? Or maybe about some of the great philosophers like Zeno or Marcus Aurelius? Just let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to make more content like this. Anyway, I hope you found some small bit of information here that you can use to make your life better and happier. Well, there you have it. That's my little look at Stoicism, and I have to say it's something I've had in my back pockets probably since I was a teenager, to be honest with you. And it's helped me out of a lot of situations where I just really needed to dig deep into who I am, what matters to me, and stay focused on that idea of digging deep, persevering, really getting in touch with who you are, the four principles that drive it. There's so much that Stoicism has to offer us, and I hope this quick little look at this interesting philosophy had something in there that resonated with you, something you can put into use in your everyday life. Because hey, that's the whole reason we're here at Meg's Magical Mansion, just to share the journey with you and share your thoughts and ideas with us in the comments below, and let us know, what do you think about Stoicism? Are you Stoic? And of course, remember, in the words of Buddha, 1,000 candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. So thank you for sharing your time and attention with us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. Till next time, toodles!